This video is an introduction into a presentation program that is free online called Prezi. It is free, so we're going to go ahead and get you signed up. Here it shows a couple of different options for packages to sign up for Prezi. Of course, I told you it was free, but it's even better if you sign up as a student or teacher. Here you see there are a couple of perks. Signing up as a student or as a teacher, you can make your presentations private, and you can change the logo on the presentation itself instead of using the Prezi's logo on it. So the biggest perk is the space size. For a basic account, you get 100 megabytes worth of storage, but as signing up as a teacher or a student, you get 500 megabytes. So we're going to go ahead and get you signed up. To do this, you need to make sure that your email address is connected to a school. So again, you would want to use your school or your work email address. When you log in, you'll come to the home page. It'll say at the top, Your Prezis, and this is where all your presentations will be stored. You can learn more about the program Prezi, and you can explore other people's presentations that have been made. You can search by topic, or you could just go up here to the search window and type in whatever you're looking for to find presentations that'll work towards your benefit. Today I'm going to show you how to create your own and just some basic tools. This is part 1. There will be another part 2 to this video that will show you how to use the tools a little bit more. When you first sign in, Prezi gives you a couple of different options for templates. These are new from the very beginning of when Prezi first came out. They've got some pretty detailed ones here, like this one. It says Our Project. This could be used for a different group project. And as you see, things are kind of popping up at you. There's pictures, there's sticky notes, there's arrows. It's really busy. But again, once you get a handle on the program itself, this is definitely a template that you could start using. If you wanted to go ahead and use this one, you would click Start Editing. But we're going to go back and pick one of the simpler ones just to make it a little bit easier for our first time around. So I'm going to pick this one, and I'm going to start editing. So notice a couple of things. This is the template that we started. When I put my cursor around, things are kind of background. Things have started getting background. So I have this big circle in the center. It says Understand a Topic. And then it has these little brackets off to the side, and then a circle here for the conclusion. At the top, you have a Save button. It will automatically save your project every few minutes, but if you need to hit that button to ensure that it's being saved, please do so. You have an Undo button and a Redo button. If for some reason you wanted to do this as a group project, meaning multiple people working on the same project at one time, you would go here to Meeting, and it's going to give you a certain code that you can use so that everybody within your group can start editing the project. If you want to print your Prezi, what you can do is you can print it per slide. And again, slides go more towards PowerPoint, but these can also be created into slides also. But if you also want to save your project as a PDF, you hit the Print button. I know it doesn't make sense, but this is the way it's done on this project here. So hit the Print button, and it'll save it as a PDF. You can always ask for help, and then the Exit button. So what we're going to do is look at a couple of the buttons within our screen. Over here to the right hand side in the center, we have this button here that looks like a house. That is our home button, and that will take us to the first view that you get when you first open your presentation. I can zoom in. I can also zoom out. Down here in the bottom right hand corner is the Show button. So when I do this, I can either use the arrows that are on the screen, or I can use the arrow tabs or buttons that are on the keyboard itself. So it went from the center out to Subject 1, down to Subject 2, Subject 3, back to the center, and then the conclusion. So this would be a good template for a presentation in any class. To get out, you need to hit End Session, or that little X. Now right now we are in the editing mode, and we know that because this tool right here, you can see all of it right here. We're not in the show mode. So when I'm in the show mode, the tools in the top left hand corner disappear. So I want to be in the editing mode. We got a couple of different circles here. The first one we're going to look at is colors and fonts. Now this is something that Prezi has changed pretty recently, I think within the last month or two. They've offered more colors and templates than they've had in the very beginning, so it's starting to evolve a little bit. If these colors are not towards your liking, you can choose other colors. You can use an original theme, or you could do the theme wizard. Let's say that you're doing a school project and the project needs to be done in school colors. You could come over here to the theme wizard and choose the color of the background that you would like, choose the different colors of the fonts that you would like, so on and so forth. So this is something that you could play with to make your presentation a little bit more personal. Also, before when we looked at the show, how it zipped around from the center to the subject 1, 2, 3, and then center, and then back to the conclusion, that is all controlled by the path button here. Now, notice here this little button says 1, 2, 3, and add. Every time that you are in the path view mode and you click on something, let's say I'm going to click on this arrow, it will add a new pathway. So notice that it went from the very last path that was there, which was the 6th, and it created a 7th path. Now let's say that, for example, I wanted to move that. I really want it to go from the center to the arrow and then to the conclusion. So it's kind of out of order. What I can do is down here at the bottom where all our slides are, so this is like the linear mode here of what a regular slideshow would look like in a PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to click and drag that there. So I can actually view my presentation without going into show mode by clicking on the different slides here. So then it goes to the arrow and then over to conclusion. So it was that kind of nice transition to kind of show how the arrow was moving. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to go to home actually to zoom out on the whole thing. Okay, so notice here that we have little blue dots in between each of these steps here. Now let's say, for example, we forget to do something. Let's say that over here on this one, let's say subject 1, it says subject 1 is important. Let's say, for example, that we have something that's like terribly important down here that we need to like focus in on. We need to zoom in on that title or skipping a step. I'm missing a step. So I need to go through and I need to add an extra step in between 2 and 3. Well, this little blue dot right here, this little light blue dot acts as like a fill-in, the halfway mark. I can click and drag this over here and notice how with that button approaches that is important text there, there's a background to it. If I let go, it'll connect that dot to the is important text that's there, and now it'll go from subject 1 to is important back down to subject 2, and it added it right into the slideshow exactly where I wanted it to do. Okay, let's look at, this is step 4. We're going to go to slide 4 here. Let's say that zoom in on. That I need it in the full screen. What I can do is click the capture view, and what it does is it takes a picture of what was in my screen right there at that instant. But notice how it put it in the wrong spot, because the is important to is really under subject 2 right here after. It needs to go after slide 4. So I can click and drag that to put it in between 4 and 5, which now that is in the correct spot. frames. Now notice here that a few of these have frames around them. We have a circle frame. These have got brackets. You can add anything to any one of these. So let's say I'm going to put another circle here. I clicked, I unclicked, I've added another circle. Let's say that I wanted to make this circle a little smaller. I can click it once, and I'm going to sit here and decrease it. Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing. Double click on the circle. It's not wanting to click on the circle. Let's double click on the circle. When you double click on the circle, you're going to get these little points right here. If you click and drag, it's going to make your circle bigger, smaller. If you double click on the circle again sometimes, like on the arrow, if I double click on the arrow, I can change the different colors of the arrows. On this, if I pull this one, I can arc the arrow a little bit more, make it straighter. I can arc it under. You can change a lot of things by just double clicking on some of the extra shapes around here. The last button is the insert button. Again, you can insert shapes. This one has an arrow. You can insert lines. You can different shapes also. Let's say that I needed to put a triangle down here. Okay, I could put a triangle. If I double click on the triangle, I can change the shape of it, but I can also change the color of it. I can change how wide or how narrow my lines are. Insert also allows you to insert like an image. You can save an image to your computer, or you can download from the web. You can use a JPEG, a PNG, a GIF, a PDF, or a SWF file. Any of those are acceptable. You just need to find the file and then hit download. You can also, within the insert, download or embed a YouTube video. Now be careful, some YouTube videos don't have the coding to be embedded into a page, so you need to make sure that you pick one that works. You can also use different graphs or different what they call drawings. You can do a timeline, you can do a cycle, you can do a family tree. Any of these ideas can be added into your project. Okay. And then finally, you can add a file into your project. I found that Word documents don't work, and then they need to be a PDF. So you can add a file that way. Okay. Again, once you're done, you want to hit the Save button, and we're going to exit. Here you can change the private part of your presentation. You can make it public and allow a copy so people then can add your presentation to their group of presentations that are saved within their home page. You can make it public, you can make it private. It's completely up to you. Down here at the bottom, you can edit it. So if you want to come back to this later, you can edit. These will help you give you the URL that if you're wanting to do a group project, you can do so. You can download the project to your computer. You can save a copy to your home page. You can delete the project. If you're wanting to present it, you're going to come down here to the more. You can do an autoplay, or you could do a full screen. So if I want to do a full screen, that's what it would look like. Hit escape to get out. And this is the most important here. Right here is the share button. Once we click this here, this will give you the URL that will take you to your presentation. So let's say you have to do a presentation for your class. There is no more, I forgot my thumb drive at home, or I don't have my file. All you have to do is log into your account and your presentation is there. If your professor or your instructor wants a copy of your presentation, all you have to do is email them the file. If you want to embed this, let's say, into a Facebook page, all you have to do is embed the file and it's good to go. If you have any questions, please make sure that you hit the Learn button, see some of those tutorials. If you have any questions, please email me. I'll be free to help you out.